Today, we're upgrading our wings from party sides to main dish with 3 looks. So everyone at your table will have a wing or 3 they'll love. Choose from honey barbecue, zesty salt and pepper, and of course, the spicy traditional. The first is a honey barbecue sauce. Gonna start that with some ketchup. Some mustard goes in, then some turmeric. It's really smoky. And it's in yellow mustard, but this is just gonna punch the flavor up a little more. And then to that, just a little bit of chili powder. We don't want it to taste like chili, but we do want that smoky flavor that chili powder imparts, so put that in as well. And then a little bit of brown sugar in any good barbecue sauce. And put that in there, just kind of break it up and let it go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then some honey. This is, of course, what makes it the honey barbecue sauce. This is gonna be so good. Now, when you're cooking it, you're gonna stir it, and it's gonna start to caramelize. So make sure you keep your eye on it, and it doesn't get too thick and start to kind of stick to the sides. Look at that creamed honey. It's so rich and thick. It's gonna be great with our honey barbecue sauce. All right, see, that's it. That's one of the ways we're gonna top our chicken wings. All right, I want to add some garlic to this as well, because I am a garlic lover. So just put your clove in and clamp on down. Yeah. There you go. All right. All right, so just give it a stir. And like I said, watch that as it simmers and bubbles so it doesn't get too thick. Now, the second way we're gonna do our wings is gonna be the lemon and the lime zest. And all I'm gonna do with that is just bring my lemon and my lime over here and zest away. Make sure you don't go too deep into the skin because you do not want that bitter taste. Just want the sweet oil. All right, so now what I want to do is build up the third topping of our wings 3 ways, which is going to be the traditional spicy hot sauce. And I love it. I always loved wings growing up, but really fell into the idea of eating them when I was in the Air Force in San Antonio, Texas. And I'd have the season tickets to the Spurs game all lined up and ready to go. The first thing I wanted to do before the game was go get myself some wings and a beer at the local Hooters. I'm gonna add in a cup of hot sauce. Use your favorites. I love hot sauce too, and the butter's gonna cut the heat. Let me tell you, those wings I ate at Hooters, ooh-wee, they were so hot. When they brought the plate to my face, I could singe the nose hairs if I breathed in too hard. All right, so that lemon that we took the zest off of, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it so I don't catch any of the seeds. Just do a little spritz in here. It's gonna add a nice little kick to our traditional hot sauce. And that's 1, 2, 3. We got the honey barbecue sauce, the lemon lime zest, and then our spicy traditional. We've got the honey barbecue wings, then move over to the traditional wings. That's spicy hot sauce that's cut by the butter. And then over here, the lemon lime zest sprinkled over the top with a little bit of salt. You got something for everyone.
It's gonna be sticky, it's gonna be sweet, and it's gonna be citrusy. Oh, I'm making Tequila-Tangerine chicken wings. So I have about a 1.5 cups of tangerine juice. I'm slicing up 2 jalapenos. I want to cut about 2 of these tangerines. All right, so I'm gonna head over here to my stove. I have my tangerine juice here. I have a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm gonna put some of my jalapenos in here. Add some slices of my tangerine. I'm gonna add some soy sauce in there. I'm gonna give it that salty umami flavor. Give it a stir. I'm not adding in my tequila right now. I want the sauce to kind of cook up, get nice and bubbly, the sugar to melt. If I add it in right now, it'll just burn off and I won't get any of that taste of the tequila. While that's heating up, I'm gonna season my chicken. Simple seasoning, salt and pepper. This is about 2 pounds of chicken. I decided to use whole wings, but you can always use wingettes. Flip it over. Some salt and pepper on the other side as well. And before I fry these, I'm gonna check on my sauce. I'm gonna add in just a little bit of tequila. Now, if you have kids at home, skip the tequila, it'll still be a great dish. Give it a quick stir. I'm gonna actually push it back and get it off the heat so it can set up and get nice and syrupy. I have my oil heated here to 375 degrees. Let me grab my tongs and fry these in batches until they become nice and crispy. While those fry, I'm gonna finish up my sauce. I have a strainer here. I'm gonna remove all the bigger pieces. Move this out. Okay. I'm gonna add it back to my pan to thicken it up with a slurry. And the slurry is just 2 tablespoons of cornstarch whisked into 1 cup of water. And now I'm whisking up my slurry, and I'm looking for a sticky, thick type of sauce to coat my chicken wings. Okay, as it heats up, it'll start to thicken up. My wings are done now. They are golden brown. Grab my sauce, pour it into this bowl, grab my chicken. All right, now I'm gonna coat my wings in the sauce. Oh, sticky wings. I think it's cool enough to try. Some good chicken wings.
In my world, wings are absolutely everywhere, and berries are absolutely everywhere. I love them in any form. So I'm gonna make a batch of sticky blueberry wings. Ooh, these are so good. A little bit of a change up from regular buffalo wings, and they are absolutely, I'm gonna say it, berry-licious. I've got wings in this bowl, and they're basically wing drumettes and the little flat pieces. And I sprinkled over garlic salt and a bunch of black pepper. So I'm gonna give them a real quick toss just to make sure they're totally coated in the seasoning. And seasoning the wings is as simple as that. So I have a rack over a sheet pan, and I lined the sheet pan with foil before I put the rack on. And then it'll sort of catch all the mess as these cook. All right, that looks good. And these are gonna go into a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes, and I'll turn them once during the cooking process. And then they'll get tossed in the sticky sauce. All right, the wings are one part of this recipe. The sticky blueberry sauce is a very important part. So I'll start with the blueberry, and that's about a cup of blueberry preserves. And I'm also gonna add some fresh blueberries. So the preserves will take care of making the sauce nice and sticky. The fresh blueberries will really enhance that fresh blueberry flavor. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. I wanna make these wings a little bit spicy, so I have a bunch of diced jalapeno, and then garlic, of course, and fresh ginger. Do not skip this. This is one of the best things I love about this sauce. And then I love the addition of soy, just a couple of generous tablespoons. Then I'll turn on the heat, and I just need to stir this sauce and let it cook and thicken and get bubbly and spicy, and just let all the flavors marry and have lots of babies. All right, so here's where I am. The wings are in the oven cooking. I'll turn them over to the other side in a bit and let them finish cooking. This sauce needs some time to cook and bubble and simmer and thicken. So then when they're both ready, I will bring the two together. It's gonna get exciting around here. Okay, I've got the wings out of the oven, and while I was there, I turned the oven on to broil. And I'm gonna get the wings ready for the next stage. So they're all gonna go into this bowl, and I got them just slightly golden, and I can kind of hear that crispy skin when I pick them up. Ooh, they smell so good. The sauce is very thick and magical. Look at this. Ooh, that looks so good. So you guessed it. It gets poured over the wings. It looks like a lot of sauce, but you really want to coat those wings generously, because there should not be a single bit of wing that is not totally coated in the sauce. All right, I'm gonna make a mess. This is another reason I have this rack on here. Pouring them back onto the pan. Now they look a little weird right now, but trust me, this next stage is gonna take care of everything. All right, now I'm gonna put them back in the oven under the broiler, and it's gonna take them about 4 minutes to caramelize. The step under the broiler completely finishes these off. They are just almost transformed. They get stickier, the sauce caramelizes. These are just show-stopping wings, in my opinion. All right, they go onto a serving platter now. And it's a purplish serving platter, so this is just a purple appetizer, what can I say? And these are the kind of wings that you just take a bite of and you cannot stop. They are scrumptious. These would be great as an appetizer before a meal, or you could turn this into a meal itself with just a salad and maybe some biscuits or bread. Delicious. I think they just look fantastic by themselves on this platter, but I think a little bit of green will kind of make them look just absolutely beautiful. And the jalapenos in the sauce makes the sauce, you know, not too one note. It gives it a heat and it's just delicious. Alrighty, and I have some little halved blueberries. They might kind of disappear, but I'm gonna sprinkle them on just to give the platter some interest. Wow. I think this is the prettiest platter of wings I've probably ever seen. Definitely the prettiest I've ever made. Sticky blueberry wings. Absolutely took regular wings to a whole new level. I am going to really enjoy digging into these alone. This is one messy platter of food. Ooh, it's gonna be so good.
So I'm gonna show you, I have kind of a different technique for grilling wings, and I like to keep them whole, and I kind of stack them up. You know, it's usual conventional wisdom to spread everything out on the grill so that it doesn't steam.
Yeah.
But this actually helps you render the fat by putting them close together. It keeps them moist, and then at the end, we're gonna make them crispy. But I'm gonna make our sauce real quick. Some melted butter.
Gotta have that butter.
Onto the grill.
Butter.
This is so simple. You add in your favorite hot sauce. And then you put in a little bit of honey, so you have some sweet with that spice.
So easy, too.
This is the first thing I
Super
ever made on
easy.
Food Network were hot wings with Emeril Lagasse. This is like the beginnings of me right here.
And some vinegar.
Vinegar,
Gotta have
very
a little vinegar in there. And whisk it all up, and the heat will help it all get blended together. So just want the sauce to come together. It gets that nice classic orange of the wings. So those wings cook about 12 to 15 minutes per side if you leave them whole. I have some here that have been cut, so if you prefer the kind that are cut, you can use those too.
I can eat more like this, faster.
Yeah, you can get them faster.
Is this your
Too heavy.
seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic powder?
So before the chicken goes on, I season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder. Thank you, Sonny. I get excited.
I'm excited too. Trust.
Okay, so now the sauce goes on to the wings.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
That was
And we're gonna give it a good toss. And they're gonna go back onto the grill for a couple of minutes.
Oh, I like.
So that they get nice and crispy, because the sugar that's in this sauce is really gonna help
up.
those skins get really nice and crispy.
I'm gonna start our jerk marinade with 4 cloves of garlic there and 4 stalks of our green onion. Let me talk to you a little bit about jerk chicken. A lot of times you can go to your grocery store and you can buy the marinade in a bottle, and you can use it for your chicken at home. But let me tell you, when you make one of your own rubs and your marinades at home, it just really tastes a lot better. A lot of filler and preservatives in the stuff that you buy at the grocery store too. So the thing about jerk, and I say this is jerk chicken, is everyone's got their own recipe. Everyone's got their own spice combination. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. But the general thing with jerk chicken is it's sweet, it's spicy, it's a little tangy, a little bit of salt. It's hitting your tongue in all levels. All right, now speaking of hitting your tongue, you do not want to hit your tongue with this by itself. That's why we're putting it in the marinade. It's a habanero or Scotch bonnet pepper, one of the hottest peppers ever. You touch it with your hand, and for the rest of the day, I don't care how many times you wash your hand, do not touch your face. I took a shower one time after cutting one of those open, and got a habanero facial. All right, so into our jerk chicken marinade, we're gonna do some soy sauce, some brown sugar, some apple cider vinegar, and some honey. It's gonna really round out the flavors. Remember I said sweet, spicy, tangy. These are all gonna really help out with that. Okay, so we'll start with some soy sauce. Of course, that's gonna give you the nice, deep salt flavor. And a lot. We're gonna make a lot of marinade because half of this is gonna marinate and then the other half right on top of the chicken. We're gonna glaze it. It's gonna be nice and crispy and brown in the oven. Really good flavors. All right, then of course the honey for the sweetness. Really had a good time in Jamaica. You know, the tourist side was cool, you know, waking up and heading to the bar to get your all-inclusive drinks on. But doing the insider trip was really a lot of fun. All right, so some honey in there and brown sugar. The reason I love brown sugar in my jerk marinade is it gives this really deep molasses flavor. It's a deep sugar. It's more deep than just your regular sugar like the white sugar, but I'm gonna put that in there too. This is all about packing the flavor in because it's gonna marinate for about 4 hours. All right? So I came back from Jamaica, and of course, you know, I live in New York, so it was all about trying to find a place to find some of those flavors. And I always go to a spot on 23rd in the city called Negril. I mean, there's a city in Jamaica called Negril. Makes sense, right? All right, so some apple cider vinegar. Every time I go in there, I seem to run into a celebrity. Who knew, right? A lot of music singers and artists and stuff like that in there. And I always see some Jamaican performers, so I feel like if I go to a Jamaican restaurant in the States and I see some Jamaicans there, I must be doing something right. All right, so here we go with our spices. So this is some cayenne pepper, and I'm really into heat, hitting you on different levels of the tongue. And some fennel seed here. This is very licoricey. It's a sweet but an intense licorice taste. And a little bit of ground ginger. It's gonna add a little zip, a little kick. And then we're gonna put in a little thyme as well. I really love the way thyme tastes. And so this is ground allspice. Allspice all over Jamaican food. Why? It comes from Jamaica. A little bit more sugar. Now remember I said we've got the sweet going on, we've got some heat going on. Now we need a little bit of tangy. All right, so the juice of 4 limes goes in here. And we're gonna do the juice of an orange. Go ahead and get the store-bought if you have it, but fresh always tastes better to me, all right? Go hang out at your local fruit stand and talk to the guy. I talk to my fruit stand guy. And every once in a while, get some free fruit. Smile goes a long way. All right, so that's all in there. Remember, we've got it started with the garlic, the green onions, soy sauce, brown sugar. It's gonna be really good. Your cayenne pepper. And I've almost forgotten I touched the habanero peppers, but I don't think I will tonight when I take a shower. All right, so that's all ready to go. I'm gonna get the chicken that we're gonna marinate with that jerk seasoning. And we're gonna save some of that jerk seasoning to the side, because remember, we're gonna reduce it down and I'm gonna glaze it over the top of the chicken about halfway through the cooking process. It's gonna look, oh, so good. All right, so let me get my marinade bowl. This is my trick right here. Anytime you're gonna marinate in the fridge, of course, plastic bag means less marinade, less waste. And you can go ahead and put it in a plastic bowl, because what if you have a hole in your plastic bag? You wanna drip all that stuff all over your fridge, you know? So I got all these chicken wings in here. I get them in. Oh, these look good. They don't know what's about to happen to them. They're about to take a trip to the islands. All right, so this is like 7 pounds of chicken, just in case you're wondering how many wings I'm doing. 7 pounds. All right, this will do like a family of 4 or 2 really hungry people with some beers or cucumber juice that's on the way. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna put this in here, and remember, I'm gonna save to the side about a cup. I feel good about that. So I'm gonna put that in my little thing here, my saucepan. I'm gonna reduce that down later. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this chicken all surrounded by the flavor, so when it marinates, it is ready to go in the oven and bake up. That is a little bit of the marinade from our chicken that's in the fridge. It's been marinating for about 4 hours. That's our jerk marinade. A little bit of it's gonna reduce and glaze down on the stove, so halfway through, we're gonna bring it out of the oven and throw it on top of our chicken that's already baking, and it's gonna make a nice, crispy, sweet coating. It's gonna be really good. All right, so we're just gonna get these on wax paper, put them on skin side down. Now you might say to yourself, huh? Okay, 2 reasons. Because halfway through, we're gonna flip them over and we're gonna throw the glaze on top. It's gonna create a nice crust. But when you start skin down, what happens is a lot of the marinade will start to travel down towards the bottom, which is where the skin is. You'll get a nice caramelization going on the skin before you flip it over. So it's kind of working for you. All right, everyone's hanging out. Wash my hands and get these in the oven. It's time to glaze the chicken. I'm gonna bring it out, flip it over, and turn it up to 400 degrees for 20 more minutes so we can get that nice golden brown and sticky top. I'm gonna get my glaze on. These chicken wings look really good. Now remember, we marinated these, put them in the oven at 350, then jacked it up to 400 degrees for the last 20 minutes so we could go ahead and get our glaze on. They're gonna be really good. Nice, sweet, spicy. Let's see what this tastes like, even though I already know. Not the hair, only the chicken. Oh yeah.
For an epic app, I'm making my spicy barbecue wings, which are a deep-fried, crispy, juicy, raging party of magic for your mouth. I'm starting off with a few pounds of wings that I'm seasoning with salt. And then my dredge here is really easy. It's just flour, paprika, cayenne, and salt. Now I'll get all my wings thoroughly coated in the dredge. And these wings are patted dry, which is gonna help make them crispy. They're ready to fry. I have a few inches of neutral oil heating up here to 350 degrees. I've got it in a cast iron pot, which I love for deep frying because it holds the heat really nicely. I'm gonna fry these in batches for about 12 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown and crispy. It's about to smell really good in here. A few months after I moved to town, Nick and I went to this really cool bar, and their wings were really famous. You can order them from 0 to 100 on a spiciness level. I think we got a 12. They were delicious, but Nick and I were way not cool enough to hang out there, so now I make my own wings at home inspired by theirs. I think these are almost ready. Hello, crispy town. I'm gonna transfer these to my wire rack now. I'll keep on frying, and then I'll toss them in my wing sauce. I love barbecue and I love buffalo, so this is my sweet and spicy combination of both. I've got my big bowl here to toss the wings, and I'm gonna build the sauce in here as well. I'm gonna get it heating over low, then I'll melt 6 tablespoons of butter, 1/3 of a cup of barbecue sauce, 1/3 of a cup of hot sauce, building more depth of flavor, a tablespoon of sriracha, just for more heat, and a tablespoon of honey, just to round everything out. I'll just whisk this together as the butter finishes up melting. I mean, this sauce looks like a sauce, but it smells like a dream. I think it's ready for the wings. Get it off the heat, and I'll give these wings a saucy bath. They sound so crispy. I'll get these completely coated. It's not fair. I just want to eat all of these for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. I'll get this onto my plate. Look how glossy and saucy. I'm barely gonna be able to wait long enough to sprinkle these scallions on, but I'm gonna power through. Going in. I'm dunking in a ranch blue cheese combo. Oh, heck yeah. That is a perfect wing.
I'm making oven-fried Carolina barbecue wings. I'm making a simple coating for the chicken wings. Now, because I am putting it in the oven, it's okay to put flour on top of that. Because guess what? That flour and the seasoning is gonna help keep it nice and crispy while it's in that oven. And I'm baking it at a high heat. So you kind of get that same effect of deep frying without all of that, extra oil. Just used about a cup of all-purpose flour, teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of my house seasoning. Got some smoked paprika, pepper, granulated onions, some garlic powders in there, and some salt. I have 3 pounds of chicken wings. Super simple. Just give it a light coating. So while these wings are baking, I'm gonna add a Carolina barbecue sauce. It has mustard, brown sugar, a little spice. You can put some hot sauce in there. It's just like a tangy but sweet barbecue sauce. I have my oven preheated to 425. I'm gonna bake this on the center rack for about 30 minutes. While that's baking, I'm gonna get started on my Carolina barbecue sauce. Of course, mustard. Got some of that brown sugar, some granulated sugar, apple cider vinegar, it's real tangy. Some whoosha, add a little saltiness, and some hot sauce. Got my burner on medium-low heat. I got about a little over a cup of yellow mustard. I'm gonna use a cup of light brown sugar. This Carolina barbecue sauce is gonna be sweet and tangy. I'm gonna add about a half a cup of granulated sugar. Some Worcestershire sauce, about a tablespoon. 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. And a few dashes of hot sauce. I like it a little spicy, not too much. But that sugar is definitely gonna help mellow out some of that spice. Use my whisk. Now, the longer you cook Carolina barbecue sauce, the darker it gets. So it's gonna get a golden yellow color. All right, so there's really nothing else to do with this. I'm gonna let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. My sauce is looking great. I'm gonna take the chicken out of the oven, brush it with a little bit of the sauce, pop it back in the oven, and let it cook for an additional 15 minutes. Look at that, and they almost look like fried wings, see? And to think they're just getting started. Just gonna take some of the sauce and mop it on there. Look at that color. Just gonna continue to get crispy. Gonna lock in some of that sauce and that flavor. Whew. And you know, I'm gonna flip them over and do the same thing to the back. All sides need love. You know, along with the dip, I think this is gonna be a hit. I'm just gonna flip them over and put some barbecue sauce on this side. And actually, I'm gonna put it back in the oven like this, skin side down, so this side can get a little crispy too. My oven is still at 425. I'm gonna pop it back in there and let it bake for an additional 15 minutes. The wings are almost done. Ooh, look at that, y'all. To make sure that these wings are extra crispy, I'm gonna spray it with a little cooking spray. The oven is still at 425. I'll let it bake for about 10 more minutes. Ooh, do you hear that? Now you tell me these weren't fried.
Crispy oven-fried chicken wings with the M80 sauce.
Okay.
That's right. This might blow your taste buds and thumbs off your brain, okay? We got 4 pounds of wings here, tips cut off, separated into flats and drums.
Tips cut off?
I like the tips too, I know. This just trust me on this. Just for this, because we are baking
You make some stock with it or something?
It's a little, yeah, we make some stock with it.
Yeah, they do come out a little charred when you bake them like that.
Exactly, which I take it down, like the bone and everything. I eat half the chicken bone. I don't care. I'm a
What am I
mammal.
doing with your 4 pounds?
So we are gonna put that in there and mix it with a tablespoon of baking powder and a tablespoon and a half of kosher salt. And that baking powder is gonna help raise that pH level, get that skin taut, crispy. We're gonna turn it out into a sheet pan that has been amply sprayed with cooking spray. Okay, make sure it's all incorporated there, and we're gonna put it in the fridge overnight. This recipe is great for the convection, right? That air does circulate 360, but if you wanted to pull out the air fryer, you definitely can. I guarantee you can't fit 4 pounds of wings in your air fryer, though.
Yeah.
But look at, you could kind of see, like, look at how, like,
Yeah.
matte
The
finish that
texture,
is.
the
right?
sheen goes away.
It is going in the oven. 425.
Right away.
40 to 50 minutes, right? No need
Okay.
to rest. We'll be all right.
Ooh.
25 for 40 to 50 minutes.
That's a good amount of time.
That is a good amount of time.
They're cold. They're coming right out
They're
of the fridge.
coming right out of the fridge, right? You can let them rest a little bit, but let's make our sauce. I got some ready to go. Golden brown. Starting with chili sambal. That's how we're gonna make this at M80.
Wow.
That elusive, sometimes illegal firework
Yeah.
of the M80, which I know and love and often bought out of some guy's trunk in the neighborhood. We're
the
gonna
state
use
line.
the sambal.
So
which-
this is the
talk
red,
about.
this is sambal oleg, right? So
Yep.
it's like the green, they've got green and red. This
Honey.
is the red chili paste. It's garlicky, it's spicy. The green is just made out of green tomatoes and green chilies, which is really hard to find, but you can find recipes online. And equally as fiery.
I love the smell of this over
Yeah.
sriracha, right? And it's just a little chunkier, and I think it's gonna be great on these
I really
wings.
like the sambal, and I think
Yeah.
putting that honey with it. And is that soy sauce?
Little soy sauce, a little ACV
Apple cider vinegar, that was some honey too.
for a little more acid.
But if you're looking for the sambal, it's usually got a green top in the
I got the
grocery
honey,
store.
sambal, soy, ACV, apple cider vinegar, and of course,
The butter.
the butter. You cannot coat your wings
Yeah.
without ample quantities of butter.
Yeah, you need some fat.
You can't do it.
Agreed.
When you try make wings at home, you're like, they don't taste the same as my favorite saloon, my favorite tavern, my favorite whatever. It's because you're not doing a 50% butter.
That's right.
Melted in there, and you get that viscosity. Last but not least, a little bit hot jardinera in there that we had minced up.
Okay.
But you do this right, it clings to each of those wings, and you get that
And the
bite.
crevices.
And of course, that's not just like for looks, but you get the pickle, briny, fermented element that you just really can't replicate. Let's grab their wings. How easy
Grab 'em.
is this?
That was so easy.
You make the sauce.
It
You're gonna-
really is so much less mess doing the oven like that.
First of all, you see the bubblage on top of some of that skin? Look at that.
Crunchy, crispy.
Look at these bubbles. Look at
Unreal.
that bubbles.
He's
That's
gonna
just-
touch all the bubbles, Jeff?
Well, I already touched everything else in here. Might as well I stop at the bubs. All right. Now, you could do them all at once. You could do them in batches, but since there's 5 of us, I'm doing them all at once.
Jeff, do you have
Toss
to put
it.
those back in the oven, or are you just done with them once they
Oh,
toss
that's
them in
it.
the
Once
sauce?
you toss them, we got hot butter. We got hot wings straight from the oven.
I do have a question
Look
though.
at
Could
that.
you, is it sacrilegious to want, in my heart of hearts, maybe a little ranch or blue cheese with these?
Oh, it's
I got a bolt of them. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
didn't see.
You're talking
I'm
to some
blindly
Midwest
looking.
metal here, right here. We serve the ranch or the blue, and usually both.
you swirl it.
All right. Last but not least,
What?
What is this?
This is crazy. This is controversial.
Poppy seeds?
little poppy seed to help coat it.
I get it pop like a
It's
firecracker.
gonna pop like the. Thank you, Sonny.
I got you,
Somebody
Chef. I'm
gets
your
it.
sous chef.
I'm
Just
gonna
a little
have to
bit.
get my dental floss out
This is
after
Oh
this.
yeah, you will. And look at those M80
Wow,
wings
Chef, those look
ready
beautifully
to serve
created.
with your ranch or blue cheese.
I'm getting right in. I like a drumette.
I was gonna ask the drummer flat question.
Yeah, I'm a drummer.
I
I like
like
the
it.
flat because you push your finger through and get
I
that.
love the
that
option
meat out.
of
The blue
That's the
cheese?
blue
The
cheese.
meat.
I want
to be
blue
accurate.
cheese and ranch, okay? And I have to have the little carrot sticks and celery on the side.
I like to watch you make your plate. It reminds me of how I should be making my plate. Let me put some vegetables on there.
You want a veg?
Yeah. Somebody get some Greek yogurt for Sonny, please.
So there is the factor that baking them does decrease the richness of it,
It does.
dare I say.
Jeff,
Listen, if you do it
Definitely.
right long enough, test your crisp factor
Definitely.
out.
Jeff, they are so juicy and like perfectly cooked because they were baked.
I got crunchy skin.
You get the crispy skin,
Thank you, Dad.
And
I
a
love-
couple of napkins over here, my man.
I have a couple
the
carrots.
sweet heat that you have going on with the honey and the sambal.
Chicken wings with a chipotle hot sauce and a blue cheese yogurt dipping sauce. Sometimes they use sour cream. We're gonna use yogurt just so we feel like we're being healthy. Okay, we need a pot. There we go. We have some red wine vinegar. Now this is the sauce that we're gonna actually bake the chicken wings in after we grill them. Some honey. A little Dijon mustard. Some Dijon. And then chipotle peppers. Now this is what chipotles look like in a can. They're smoked jalapenos, and they come in this sort of adobo sauce, which is like a red vinegar, sort of tomatoey marinade, and they sit in there, and then you can puree them up, like I did right here, and we can just put these right into the sauce. Remember, smoky and fiery. But the first thing we're gonna do is heat it up right on the grill. So make sure your grill is hot. All right, while that's working, we're gonna make sort of the dipping sauce. When you go to a bar and you eat buffalo chicken wings, you know, you get sort of like this Tabasco-y kind of sauce, you know, very spicy, and then they serve it with like a blue cheese dressing usually, and usually it's like sour cream and lots of blue cheese. Instead of that, we're gonna use yogurt, and you know I love to use that thick Greek yogurt because it has fantastic texture. And let's make a lot of this because we got a lot of chicken wings. We're gonna dice up a little red onion. And the red onion is obviously gonna add a lot of flavor to it, but also I want that crunch, you know, that sort of, that crispy crunch that you get with really nice, fresh red onions. And we're gonna cut them rather fine, actually. Dice them up. Next up, some green onions. Paper thin if you can get them. Okay, red and the green. A little salt and pepper. And then the blue cheese. Now this is a crumbled blue cheese. This is an American blue cheese, like a Maytag. If you notice, I haven't mixed it all together yet. I'm gonna make one fold so that the blue cheese stays nice and crumbled and it doesn't get messed up. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's go over to the sauce over here because it's boiling, which is exactly what we want to happen. So now we're gonna add the butter right to the sauce. All right, you can see this has actually come to a boil, and that's a good thing because we want to add the butter and not separate it. And this is gonna make a nice glaze for the chicken wings. Just melt the butter, whole butter, you know, unsalted whole butter. And we'll add it to the spicy sauce. Okay. Well, we're cooking some chicken wings here, and obviously you want to get them nice and crispy. You know, it starts getting, you know, a little crispy like this. You might want to turn it over. These are definitely ready. And we're gonna cook the chicken wings right in the sauce. All right, it's enough to start with. Hey, look, check that out. Now we have the wings in the sauce, and basically, just want to kind of toss them around a little bit. Just kind of glaze them in the spicy sauce. Wing time. Anybody hungry?
These are my racked wings with mustard barbecue sauce.
Ooh, racked wings. I love that.
Okay, let's deal with the rack first. So this is 2 baking resting racks, okay? The exact same size. And I've got the top, the presentation side, as the part that I'm going to fold in to my chicken. Now look, already here, I've connected them loosely because you remember, you gotta give some space for it to kind of go on top of the chicken with just a little bit of wire. You can get it like the handy store, okay? And then you cut it with your wire cutters. Wings here, completely full. 1, 2, 3. And here goes the pepper. Now, we've got this on one side of a baking rack. If you want really crispy skin, also make sure you leave these wings kind of sitting in your refrigerator, pat them dry. That dry air of the refrigerator is going to help them crisp up. Look at what I just did. You see how I just closed the case on the situation? Now, I've got 2 more pieces of wire here. Just have them ready to go. Just kind of run it through the grates and give it a nice twist. I've seen all of these like smaller contraptions for like maybe a fish, and you fold it open and it's on a handle. It's like, make it bigger, you know what I mean? Why not? I want to be able to make tons and tons of whatever I'm grilling. This is definitely an old tool, new trick. All right, so they are secured. You want to make sure that they're secured because you are going to flip this part way through. And the whole goal of this great system is so that you don't lose them. And then just get them right onto your grill. It's gonna be 350 degrees. Only gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes, but 15 minutes in, we're gonna wanna hit them with some sauce, okay? And I'm talking about a really easy mustard barbecue sauce. So, let me take you through the ingredients here. Tons of whole-grained Dijon mustard. To that, gonna add in some apple cider vinegar, some garlic that's just grated on a rasp, a little Worcestershire sauce. Now, a little bit of white vinegar. Gonna hit it off with some hot sauce. And an ingredient from my youth that I had to be reminded about by you. I was making some pancakes on Instagram and someone said, oh, you haven't had syrup on your pancakes till you had cane syrup on your pancakes. And I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about cane syrup. It's so sweet and delicious. I get it online. You can find it at your grocery store, but it's sweet. It'll remind you of corn syrup. If you don't have cane syrup, corn syrup works just fine there. Now, a little bit of beer goes in as well. I said a little bit, and I always make sure when I write a recipe to leave a little bit for the chef or the home cook. All right, so get this onto our grill here. You wanna hit this at medium high. I'm just gonna stir it. And the goal I'm going for here when I stir it, you want to get back down to that consistency where you feel like it's sticky, it's sweet, and you might be able to mop it onto your wings without it falling right down through the grate, so. And then let it bubble and it'll start to kind of thicken up for us. All right, now look at that. Doesn't take long, medium high. If it starts to bubble up, just turn it down a little bit. We're not trying to burn it, just trying to get to that luscious consistency. It is time to hit up our wings. Okay, so they've been grilling for about 15 minutes. It's a good time to get in here and, ooh, yes, brush away. Turn that off. Now look at how easy this is. Brush them through the grates, honey. Brush them through the grates. Now, you want to do this brushing towards the end because of the sugar cane syrup that's in here. It caramelizes pretty quick, and we don't want to burn these wings. So I cook these for 15 minutes. I brush them, then I flip them, cook them for about 20 minutes more, and at the end, just come through and hit them up with this sauce again. All right. One final brush means it's time to bring them out. Let me tell you, so delicious and easy. 2 baking racks. Very simply connected with wire.
I just did an official wing count, and congratulations, you did not lose one single wing.
Yeah.
Grill.
Woo! All right. I didn't lose anything. I lost nothing, okay? And I've already got more chicken over here cooking. Okay, so this is how you get into it. The same way you cut the wire from the little roll. Let's get in there and do a nice little snip. Doesn't really hold and conduct heat like you think it would. And look at this. Look at that. Glistening, glossy, fully cooked through, hit with that luscious barbecue sauce. So easy. Really pantry pulls when you think about it. Some grained Dijon mustard, some of that cane syrup, white vinegar, Worcestershire sauce. Come on. Huh? Now I just like to serve this with white bread, some pickles. Maybe you want to put a little bit of sauce in there for the dunking and the dipping. Let's invite it to the party. Look at that. Come on now. Look at this spread.
I'm gonna smoke some chicken wings. So first things first, with your wings, I mean, I like to use the whole wing. Look at these babies, Liv. I mean, they're big. That's about 3 to a pound. It could take on a good amount of smoke and flavor, and you don't have to worry about it drying out. For the marinade, I go with a touch of sugar, a little bit of cayenne. It's about 2 tablespoons of cayenne, 2 tablespoons of sugar, roughly. About a tablespoon of salt, and then we are going to add the juice of 2 limes. So we get those juiced. We give this a little mix. And this isn't like a wet marinade. This is just kind of to coat everything. And once you get the marinade on your wings, you could go pretty quick with them if you want, but in a perfect world, I would say let them marinate for 4 to 6 hours to really kind of take on the flavor. And because we're using the whole wing, it protects us from worrying about them drying out. All right, so wings are ready. I'm gonna set them over there. So these ones have been marinated for, you know, about 4 hours. And you can see how they kind of take on the marinade a bit, and that's what we're looking for. Now, I'm gonna get the rub set and ready. So kosher salt, cracked black pepper, and these are roughly all equal parts. Sugar, a little bit of paprika. I'm using a sweet paprika. Chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder, ground cumin, and a little bit of cayenne. And then we're gonna put in a 1/2 cup brown sugar.
Okay, so I know you're gonna probably get mad at me for saying this, but couldn't I just like buy my own concoction of spices? Do I have to make it myself?
No, 100%. There are some great rubs out there. If there's one that you love, use it. All right, rub is ready, wings are marinated. Now they need to start smoking. So I have all my coals set to one side of the grill. They're at white embers now, or getting close to that white ember situation. Another thing that you can do, I don't always do it, is you could do wood chips. I have apple chips here. We soaked them in a little bit of water. So you could take a little handful of your chips and you could add your chips to your coals to give you some of that flavor. But you want to let the smoke clear a bit. If you see huge plumes of smoke, wait a second till that burns down. The plumes of smoke is what makes things taste a little bit on the acrid side. The clean smoke is what adds that nice smoke flavor. Okay, so now we're just gonna take our wings and we're gonna set them on the side of the grill where there are no coals. So these are gonna smoke in here and cook all the way through, but the skin is gonna kind of render out. And then at the end, I'm gonna finish these on a hot grill so I could get that nice crispy skin.
And how do you mimic this indoors?
These would be delicious, not smoked also. So I would get your marinade, roast them in a 350-degree oven, 375-degree oven, until they're cooked all the way through and tender. When they come out, you could toss them in the rub, they'll still be delicious. So wings are on the smoker, 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, look at that. Chicken wings are looking good. You can see the skin is tightening up, which is a good sign. These are going at 350. They're not gonna get any of that char color on there yet. We're gonna do that at the very end. The wings take about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the size of the wing. Remember though, we're gonna grill them at the end to kind of bring them the rest of the way through. So you cook them about 90% on the smoker, finish with the char. All right, Lizzie, check this out.
Those are giant.
They're giant, yeah, right?
Holy
These have been
moly.
going for about 35 minutes. So they're
gorgeous.
cooked all the way through now. But when you smoke at a lower temperature, you don't get that crispy skin.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these off here and I'm gonna move them to my hotter grill where we have the pot simmering along.
Nice.
So now we're gonna get that nice char on the wings, which is gonna crisp up the skin. This is all coming together. All right, Lizzie, I know you are not a wing. Look at how
Those
beautiful
look
they
really
are.
good though, I must
like-
say, and they smell amazing.
Here, this isn't hot. Could you set this over there? Memphis dry rub on my wings. We give these a toss. And then I'm gonna take the wings. And this is why I like doing the wings separate, because you get that crispy chicken situation. Let me pick the perfect wing for you. I need
Find it.
perfect Lizzie wing. Which side? Do you want the little drumette or?
Yes.
You want the little drumette?
Do.
Do you want to use your dip?
Well, of course I do. I think. See, this might be why too. I don't necessarily like to get
peel
my
right
fingers
off the
dirty.
bone. Oh my God. Come on.
Wow.
All
Okay.
day.
Those are incredibly tender and delicious.
One of the things I love to eat during tailgating is chicken wings. I like all kinds of flavors. Today we're gonna make it quick and easy. Carolina barbecue sauce. We're gonna do a tequila and lime, and we're gonna do a really dynamite Asian. Now, how do we make this easy? Well, you take the frozen chicken wings that you get at the store, pop them in the oven, and cook them at home. Cool them down, and then bring them with you come game time. Now, all I'm gonna need to do with these is throw these bad boys on the grill, heat them up, and when they're done, drop them into the sauce of choice. So I've got my wings ready, time to make the sausage. Now the first one we're gonna work on is gonna be the Asian. These resealable bags work perfect. I like to get the freezer version because they're a lot sturdier. To start off with a little bit of soy sauce and some honey, some lime juice. Roll that lime out, make sure you get all the juice from it. Some orange juice. You want to see an orange juice press. Fresh grated ginger, chili garlic sauce for a little bit of heat, a little sesame oil, just a touch, oregano, a little cumin, a touch of cayenne, a little granulated garlic, last but not least, some oyster sauce. Kind of mix this all up together. Now it's time to make the delicious tequila lime. Some lime juice. Fresh is better. Some tequila, some agave nectar for a little sweetness, a little lime zest, and the real lime flavor comes out of the zest. A little cumin, chipotle peppers, smoked jalapeno peppers that sit in a sauce called adobo, which is kind of a spicy tomato sauce. Just a touch of that. A little black pepper, a touch of salt. Dynamite flavors. With that agave syrup on there, it's gonna be delicious. Now we're gonna make one of my favorites, the Carolina barbecue sauce. A little bit of sweetness and a lot of vinegar. Start this off with some ketchup, some red wine vinegar, a little red chili flake, some chipotle sauce for the adobo, a little dried mustard, some granulated garlic, just a little bit of sugar. And a little mix. Made ahead of time, Carolina barbecue sauce, the tequila lime, and the Asian. So with these all made at home and wings in hand, all you need is a hot grill and you're on. So check that out. Now reheated and these are ready to go. Good stuff. Now for those great sauces that we made ahead of time. Here's the Asian. About a third of these wings are gonna go in here. Take a look at that. Look at all that flavor. The tequila lime with a little bit of that chipotle. You should smell this. Now the Carolina barbecue. So there we go. 4 dishes, quick and easy, made them at home, brought them to the tailgate, heated them up, and tell me that's not money. Look at that dip right there. All these recipes are available to you, foodnetwork.com. Go tailgating.
First we need a main course, and I thought with the Caesar salad and pancetta, it'd be great to have buffalo chicken wings with blue cheese dip. Take off the wing tip, and then cut the rest of it in half. So the wing tip is really not used. I reserve it for chicken stock, and then these 2 pieces I'm gonna make buffalo chicken wings out of. So onto my sheet pan. Usually buffalo chicken wings are fried, but I hate dealing with a big pot of boiling oil, never mind how dangerous it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brush these with really spicy butter and then broil them, and I think they're just delicious. So for the spicy butter, I've got 4 tablespoons of butter melted. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of hot sauce. It's really hot. 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Even hotter. But remember, we're just brushing it on. I'm just gonna mix it together. And brush on the chicken wings. So I'm serving really spicy chicken wings with a really cool blue cheese dressing as a dip. And it's always traditionally served with celery, which is sort of cool and crunchy. It's such a great combination. So I'm gonna broil these for 8 minutes, then I'm gonna turn them, brush them with more spicy butter, and broil them for another 4, and they'll be delicious. Great. And while that's happening, I'm gonna make the blue cheese dip. So I need 3/4 of a cup of gorgonzola, crumbled, right into the food processor. Okay. 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. 1/2 cup of sour cream. Just a splash of milk to thin it a little bit. Some Worcestershire sauce. Some salt and pepper. And just puree it up. This is a great dip, not just for buffalo chicken wings, but also for fresh vegetables. Oh, it's wonderful. Great blue cheese flavor, and the Worcestershire sauce does a lot for it. And I think the buffalo chicken wings are ready. Ah, how good do those look? So I'm just going to turn these and brush them again with a spicy butter. And 4 more minutes in the oven, they'll be done.